Hey everybody, this is Dark Guardsman. We're back with a really short video. So I just wanted to really quickly pop in to let let you guys know I'm alive, and B, let you know what the plan is kind of going forward with what's going on with stuff. So Forge 113 did come out. It is beta, so all those guys, if you've seen that and are hoping for mods to be updated, it's not going to happen right away because Forge is in beta and does have a lot of problems. We actually have updated about 9 mods, I think is what we have updated. I want to say maybe a little bit less than that. So we do have mods actually updated and actually are kind of in progress. So we've got, let me go through the list here. So we've got the charcoal block mod updated. That was one of the first ones we did. We just wanted to test to see if the scripts were working. We got them working. It did take us about 9 hours to get them working. So this is kind of one of the reasons why we're going to probably delay, is that there are quite a few issues with the build systems. We've got Bone Torch updated. That just got updated yesterday. I haven't looked at it yet, so I don't know what state it's in. Dual Wither is updated and released. We do have Lizard Doggo updated and released. The spawn mechanics are not in there. They weren't there to start with, but they're not there in the new version either, so don't expect it. Mirror Pig is updated. The spawn mechanics are also broken in this one, and so is the config system for this one. The config system is actually what broke the spawn mechanics, because during testing when I was working on it, I did have it all working. The problem is the config systems are broken in the current release of Forge, so when those break, they also break the spawn system because both are tied together. Pun Animals update, fully functional. Snow Power just got updated, haven't checked on it yet, haven't released it. Pun Animal's been released, I think, as well. We also got Wooden Shears updated, haven't looked at it yet, so it hasn't been released. And I believe we have a couple others. The bigger mods are not going to be updated probably for a month. It's just, I'm going to put that straight out there. I'm in the middle of working on an ICBM rewrite. So that's going to take a while before it's finished. I'm probably not even going to get it done before the end of the month, just let you know, because I'm only do weekends working on mods, and I haven't really this last couple weekends had a huge opportunity to work on a lot of stuff. Atomic Science is still being in development, so that one's probably not going to be updated to 113 anytime soon. We still have an updated armory, assembly line, and the other stuff to 112 to start with, so we're not going to be jumping to 113 until we get some more work done. As for people who keep asking about modular force field system, go talk to Kitsune Alex, because he's the one who's responsible for that mod now. It's not ours. So I'm letting him deal with that. As for other things that are going on, we have a ton of mods that have been built for commissions that I've kind of talked about that we're still going through. I can show off a few of these really quick, but I don't have a huge amount of time, so we're not going to go through all of it. Let me see if I can find Multi-MC here. For those of you who might also ask, Multi-MC, as far as I know, it doesn't work with 113. I've actually already tried. It does not work. You can play the game, just Forge is not set up yet, so it just does not work really that well. I actually have been using this right here to actually get it, which I can launch this as well to show you guys that Mirror Pig is working for 113. So we can get that popped up. Launching 2 Minecrafts at the same time. Not my brightest ideal, but we'll go with it. As for why this was originally up here as well, I was going to point out that we haven't released an update video in a month. It's my normal thing. I'm just going to ignore it for the most part. It's probably going to become more and more of a habit that we release not that many videos. I do want to get back into it, but day job has been more or less keeping that from happening, as I can't spend a huge amount of time. But yeah, Forge 113, it does say beta, and it does indicate major issues may arise. And it does mean that, because one, the current version I even have installed, you can't even have more than a few mods installed without it crashing. So we can kind of get in here. I have 1 mod installed in here, which is Mirror Pig right now. I basically am putting 1 mod in here at a time and testing it. Earlier what we were happening, which this bug has already been fixed, we were having issues where when you had certain mods installed together, they would just flat out kill each other. But yeah, so Mirror Pigs does work. Let me go ahead and full screen this so you guys can see this. I did release a video, obviously, of this that's before this. But yeah, Mirror Pigs, for those people who don't know, it's a mod that's supposed to spawn in the ocean. That's supposed to be kind of like the dolphin, which you can see tons of dolphins, tons of fish. Oh, audio is actually working for once. When I did this video earlier, the audio just flat out was not working. I couldn't even figure out why. But yeah, so Mirror Pig, dolphin-like creature. It's meant to be basically, you could say a manta ray, or not a manta ray, a manatee. Sill maybe? I don't know. But the ideal is that it's basically a pig that's got a tail. It's the general concept behind the model. You use it exactly like a pig. This is the reason why it's programmed to have a seaweed on a stick. We don't have to do this. This is something that we have talked about, like reverting and doing something else with it. Because obviously trying to control it with a stick is not very good. You saw from the video, if you saw that previous, is that I was crashing into quite a few things. And it has a lot to do with the fact that it's kind of difficult to move around. Let me actually get me a night vision potion out so we can actually see the beauty of the underwater. Because this is not the same world we were in with when we did the previous video. There we go. Nice, bright landscape. So I'm actually really thrilled about the 1.13 update too. This is probably one of the first few times I've actually touched it. When I was announced and came out, I didn't really do anything with it. I saw a couple of YouTube videos. I think I installed it and opened it up once, and that was about it. But running around here, man, the seaweed is amazing. The fish are pretty cool. I've heard the fish are laggy, and I have experienced that lag as well. Even though we normally do 60 frames per second, you can see I'm like at 45, 50. It has a lot more to do with OBS running in the background, which is probably really, really choppy for this area because we're rendering this video at 30 frames per second, which is not very good. But you can see ship boats and stuff, and we got like I love these little canyons with the gravel pits. I think I'm gonna make a sub mod at some point just because I can do it. Because I mean, after all, I got the mirror pig to work. I can make a submarine work. So we might do that. We might have a lot of fun with just doing some really cool, interesting things with the underwater world. I know a lot of people have already talked about asking me to do dolphins. I'm probably not going to make dolphins rideable because Mojang asked for them not to be rideable, so I'm not going to do that. But we may make a lot of other creatures rideable and have some fun with that. And then I'll leave some other mod developer to make dolphins rideable. They can have fun with that. But yeah, so we'll show off the next stuff. So that one works. And the rest of the mods that we actually have working for 1.12 are all simple stuff. Charcoal block, it's a coal block. Very basic. It doesn't show up in the creative tab though, so that's another bug we ran into with Forge, is a lot of the creative tab stuff isn't working. But yeah, for stuff we've got commissioned and working, I think I have shown these off at some point, but we have Breadstone, which is some really basic armor and stuff. We originally were commissioning this mod, or wasn't even commissioning it. We originally had this mod on the docket to teach some of the new developers how to make mods. We then changed this to a commission because I just wanted to see it done. It's a really fun mod to have because it lets you take stale bread and make stuff out of it. It's kind of hilarious. We want to make a lot of joke mods. We want to make mods that are literally made to be not serious. Is one of the big things with SMBM, is we want to make a ton of mods that fit the theme of Minecraft. Minecraft's meant to be this creative, silly place that you can build in. It was never really meant to be a hardcore, I'm going to build giant factories and build huge buildings and stuff. It was meant to be, have your fun time in Sandbox. So we made kind of the Breadstone for that purpose. We also have done a few enchantments and stuff like here. So another one of the commissions we did was Infinite Falling enchantment. I have to actually get out of creative mode for this one, so let's go up here. We actually have the elevator mod too, which I think I have already shown this one off. This is a bit of an older one. But it's basically the, I believe, open blocks or extrude blocks or whatever it's called mod has this in it. Same concept. I basically asked for a replica of that. But we have to get into survival mode for this. It doesn't work in creative mode because there isn't really a good fall event that indicates when you've actually fallen and hit the ground. Instead, we're using the fall damage event. So when you take fall damage, it triggers that and it actually will let it do stuff. So how this works though is that you basically infinitely fall. Every time you hit the ground, it cancels out the damage and lets you fall. Now this can be useful, even though this was originally built for trolling. It can be useful for doing gliding and jetpacking, as you can kind of somewhat control how you fall, and you can travel some pretty cool distances with this, especially if you combine it with the wings. Let me try to see if I can get the wings out. That's right, those are in 13, aren't they? Oh no, they should be in here. I think it's called like F something. This shows you like how out of touch I am when it comes to. Let's go into creative mode. I'll find it easier that way. Because then, yeah, one of the ways, by the way, you can stop this infinite falling, take the boots off, go to creative mode, do something that would cause you to stop. I think if you fall into spider webs, it should work. But I know this is, we have wings. Wings. Armor? No. Combat? No. Transportation? Yes. I have never used these, by the way, so we're going to have fun. So what I'm going to say is when we get here... Is there a heal command? No. We should definitely commission a heal command. I think it's maybe like set health or something. That way I don't instantly die hitting the ground. But yeah. We could do this, and then I want to say glide. I don't... Here we go. So you could actually legitimately use this for something useful. It could be used as a useful thing, and you can actually glide around. And how do you actually stop? Okay, we're going to hit the ground then. There we go. That hurt. One of the other features with this is if you actually do manage to get jumping, and you're underneath, say, like a tree or something, which let me... I'm going to dig a hole, and we're going to use the hole. Oh, shoot. I forgot we have that mud. And we're good. That's one of the other mods I wanted to show off that we actually do have commissioned. It's called Bash Fire Make Rock. The name is intentionally messed up for a reason. It's kind of meant to be a joke mod, but the idea is you could use it to create fire. One of the really cool ways to use it for is actually obsidian. So let me go ahead and get some obsidian out. is if you wanted to make another portal, this is one of the reasons I actually did end up commissioning this one, is I realized this actually could be a useful mod. I made it for the joke, to be all honest, but the joke aside, there's always something useful to be had with a good joke. So you can make another portal, which I know somebody's going to point out I didn't need to put the corners there, but it does help when building. And you can do this. And you can make a portal, which is actually really, really useful. But yeah, let me go ahead and get the boots back out, because I'm probably never going to find my body. So... and I need a pair of boots. We'll get some chainmail boots out. Wow, we got some modded boots here. Let me get some hazmat boots. I want to see if these are enchantable. If they're not enchantable, we'll go with gold. And we'll get some infinite falling. Okay, now let me get an anvil. So this should work. I think in creative mode, it should let me do this. Let me say, yeah, gold boots work for sure. Yes, hazmat boots work. Yeah, kind of happy about that. Because I didn't program them to work. So going down here. I want to show you the other side of this. So the other side of how this is supposed to work is that... oh, well. The game is just cruel and unusual sometimes. But the other part of how these infinite falling work is that if you don't have a sky bound above you, you're going to fly up and hit the ceiling. So if I go like this, it will bounce me up. And I will infinitely fall between the ceiling and the ground. Are the pigmen trying to kill me? I'm really concerned for my life right now. They're not really doing much damage, though. They are shooting guns at me. A lot of guns at me. You know. Oh, well, they finally got me. I was about to get a grenade out. That's one of the other mods we have commissioned. So we've got that. We got the Bash Fire Make Rock one, which I'm going to do a video for. I'm trying to convince some one of my buddies to do a voice acting for it so we can do a whole caveman skit with it. Because the whole idea behind the Bash Fire Make Rock one is that it's supposed to be a joke about the story of where a caveman bashed fire. So he made fire. Like, let's see if I can get this to work. There we go. So he basically makes fire, and he ends up coming up to it and bashing it, and then he sees rocks underneath, which, of course, we would need rocks, cobblestone or something. And he thinks that he's created rocks from fire, and he goes and tells the other caveman and tells the story, and then it's like, no, you the rocks were already there. You used the rocks to make the fire. And what other mods we have? So we've got the Flea mod, which I'm going to get in the creative mode before we do this one so I don't get killed. This is the one we've commissioned as another joke mod. I'm basically having fun making joke mods. So we had somebody make this one, and basically little flea. We're missing the center pair of legs, but I don't really care. It's Minecraft. They do have this kind of little pogo jump to them. They are based off the rabbit. So you have about the same size, same hitbox, same agility as a rabbit. They do jump and bounce around. The plan is to put these in the desert as a kind of a rare mob spawn, and what you'll do is you'll find them in packs of like 10, and they have 2 HP each, and just take a flamethrower to them, and you'll be fine. They are just really meant to be something I can cosmetically have fun with, and throw into a world and just kind of have a quick laugh with them. So we got that. So we got the elevator mod. We do have the colored chest one, which I believe I have shown off at some point. This one is not released yet purely because I actually have to go recode it. The guy I commissioned to work on it didn't understand what I meant, and he didn't quite finish it up. He also couldn't figure out the renders for it. We also have a bag bull mob mod. This only works on basically passive creatures at the moment. We will be adding configs to make it work, but you basically pick a mob up, place it down, same as any other mod that you can possibly get your hands on. So there's tons of ones that do this as capture kind of things. I wanted my own personal version of it that would match with the baggable plant mod, so we have a mod that also lets you bag plants up. So same theme of style, same textures, everything else. What else do we have? So we already showed the breadstone off, we already showed the elevators off. Elevators come in colors, they're very simple to use, everything else. This is actually not even one of the mods we commissioned. As for updates on things, Atomic Science got some work, some updates, some fixes. They're a little bit easier to work with the reactors. I don't know if the version I've got in here is actually the same version that has the feature change in it, but one of the things we did work on was a better improvements on how the controllers work. I don't think in the last couple versions I showed off they even worked, but previously you were expected to kind of build your reactors like this. That was cool. But limited your ability to kind of work with the controller down here. So one of the things I did change and did work on, because I didn't want to have to do this either, is that you can now put a conveyor rod here. And it does have to be the non-inventory version because the storage inventory version behaves differently. But you can do this, and I can tell this is not the version because I can't actually click on above these in some cases. But you can set up your reactor cores, put this stuff up here, build basically these tubes here, and you can actually have your reactor separated, and you could build, say, like some kind of containment, and have this build out. And you can now get to this controller and apply redstone to it, and then work with it without having to be exposed to the reactor cores directly. And the same goes for this. You can use these to actually act as your shielding and everything else. So you can actually have a separation between your inventory inputs and outputs in the actual stuff. And as well, you can kind of put turbines around here. So you can do this, put your turbines out from this. And now you have kind of like a little bit of separation. You can put your applied energistics inputs on here. You can put your mechanism, your refined storage. The one on our server we actually use, I use refined storage on the top of this one, and I also have a refined storage output on the bottom of my controller as well. And then I have redstone going right into the side so I can turn the controller right on and off, which is something we worked on. I also worked on a lot of improvements on how the rods handle. We did some animation improvements, so you can actually, the rod now does animate in the middle. It will disable and enable. I think it's about it, because we still are working on the particle accelerator, so I don't got a lot to show off of that. And we haven't changed a huge amount in the math yet, so I'm going to be working on the math eventually, so that'll get some work. As for ICBM Classic, that's still in the process of rewrite. I haven't got a huge amount of work in it. I do actually have it somewhat functional now, so the rewrite is functional. It does work. Most of the stuff's there. I still have to go through and test everything and handle everything and deal with all of the basics of stuff. Anyways, this is supposed to be a quick update, but I seem to have managed to go past 16 minutes, so I'm going to end it here and see you guys later.